You're listening to a Frequency Podcast Network production.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Welcome to Tuesday. My name is Brock.
I'm Dalby.
We were just reading that they're planning on making a sequel to The Goonies for some reason.
For some reason is the best way to describe it, because not only has it been how many years, like 40 years or something like that since The Goonies came out?
Maybe even more. Yeah.
Not only has it been that long since the movie came out, but they're not even planning on shooting until 2026, 2027, because as you said, they don't even have a script for this yet.
They're saying that the whole original cast is going to be there, so like Sean Astin, Josh Brolin, can't wait to see Corey Feldman back on screen. That guy's absolute haywire right now. But I mean, like, what is the sequel? Like a bunch of 40, 50-year-olds running around the fucking sewers?
Right. Like how do we take the characters as they ended off at the end of the original movie, and now we fast forward to like they're over middle age.
Like, I know it worked for it. It's like the kids come back to try and kill Pennywise.
Right.
Are they trying to come back and kill Sloth now? Is that?
Well, I heard, and I don't know this to be certain, I heard the guy who played Sloth died, in real life.
Oh.
So are we even going to have Sloth? Do we do somebody else up in the prosthetic makeup and hope nobody notices?
I mean, the biggest thing I wanted to know is that one kid took Sloth home, did he not?
Right, yeah. Oh, yeah. You always see me talking to my girlfriend, you're going to come home with me now, or whatever it is.
Yeah, the real sequel should be that kid bringing home Sloth.
What was it like when he brought Sloth home? And I mean, hey, you just went through all these adventures and everything like that, but now you're telling your parents, oh yeah, he lives here now.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
I've seen some 40-year-old people in this city crawling through the sewers. It's not a pretty sight, guys.
What you're saying is we have lots of Sloth options.
Yeah, it's more of a horror movie than it is a family-friendly comedy.
Maybe that's the twist. Sloth starts picking them all off one at a time.
Fentanyl is dangerous.
We all, hey, you guys, down here.
It sounds like more of a commercial. This is your brain on drugs. This is your Goonies on drugs is what it is.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
For those that don't know, Brock snuck another shirt into BaDPod.ca yesterday.
If you haven't seen it for yourself, if you just text the word beef to 762-555, I'll send the link your way. And maybe, you know what? Because it was kind of like a more end-of-the-show running joke.
Yeah.
We haven't really done it during the Dirty 530.
Because it was like a Text Us Tuesday or something, wasn't it?
One day it just kind of smelled like beef in here.
It didn't.
You're not my nose. I accused Dalby of smelling like roast beef. It kind of started running a little bit, and friend of the show, Marty the Martiste, made up a design of Dalby as Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yeah.
Instead of holding up a title belt, holding up a rack of beef.
Yeah.
He's got a shirt that's just, instead of the floral design, it's got beef all over it.
Just a bunch of cuts of meat on it.
He does have a beautiful six-pack of abs. It's the best I've ever seen you look.
It's probably the most accurate rendition of me that I've ever seen.
100%.
Yeah,
100%. Absolute specimen of a man.
And it is on sale now at badshop.ca. And it's this thing where I'm torn. It's very similar to the Dolby shirts that you and Marty put together.
I think it's more flattering than the
It's
Dolby.
much more flattering. It's obviously much more flattering, but it's the same in that it's an incredible drawing. It's such a funny bit.
Yeah.
But it is at my expense. I don't know how to feel about that.
I think what you do is you look at the photo every day and you go, this is me.
This is peak me.
Yeah.
This is what I could become.
This is what I will become.
If I got on the gas right now and started
I know you're
working
talking
out.
about going back to the gym and stuff. This is the motivation. I think you hang one of these T-shirts up in the bathroom every morning and you look at it.
I'm telling you right now, to turn this, my current figure, into the figure from that shirt, and again, if you want to see it, text beef to 762-555 or check the podcast links. It's going to require a needle, whether that's anesthetic before the surgery or steroids every time I go to the gym. I don't know, but it's going to require a needle.
If there's a will, there's a way, brother. There's a will, there's a way. I will say some people did message saying they already picked up the Can You Smell What the Dolby's Cooking shirt.
Amazing.
So thank you very much. And if you missed it, we do have our own theme song for it now. It goes a little something like...
If you smell what the
the Dalby. It's perfect. Do you see all the people texting in yesterday saying, is there a scratch and sniff version available?
There should be. I don't know how you could make that on a shirt, or if you could just like maybe blend the smell into the shirt.
Right.
Yeah.
Incorporate, infuse like a roast beefy kind of smell to
Maybe
the shirt.
if we like dipped every shirt in roast beef drippings.
In an au jus.
That's what it would have to be. Yeah.
Protect the artwork. Every shirt, it only comes in a light brown color. That's
Yeah. It's got like a brief stain on it. Or every shirt comes Dalby stained.
It's just you know when you see like athletes signing big stacks of autographs. It's just me eating a roast beef sandwich, and you just keep sliding shirts underneath until I drip on them.
I wish we could do that, and then we could be like, that's how you know that it's a Bad Shop original, is that it has at least one beef stain on it.
The stain of authenticity?
Yes.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Do got friend of the show, Matt, on the phone. Matt, you did have a suggestion how we could make the shirt smell like beef?
Well, I worked grocery retail for a really long time, and you get into some of those laundry aisles, and there's a lot of scents down there. And I'm thinking if Procter & Gamble came up with a Gain roast beef dryer sheet, I think I'm pretty sure that this is something that we'd be able to get to fly.
I've never thought about, because anytime you walk through there, right, it's all like Springfield and
lavender,
all this. Yeah. I've never thought about expanding the dryer sheet scent line.
Yeah, maybe a little summer barbecue. Huh?
I'm not going to lie. Imagine standing outside of your house and smelling Subway bread coming from the dryer vents.
Dude. Going to throw on your favorite hoodie and it just smells like brisket.
Italian herb and cheese.
Known as pasta sauce.
You know what? That you could be onto something here, Matt. Just start making like Gain food related things, or even honestly, I mean, for the stoners out there, just make it like pre-baked. It's already got the cannabis smell infused into it.
A little skunk scent.
Yeah.
Because you can get those like those wool dryer balls and put like essential oils in them.
Yeah.
Just get a little bit of your favorite oils. Throw them in with your clothes and just get them to smell like you want them.
Bud infused clothes. Or even, I mean, for anyone that's like quitting smoking but still wants the smell of it to help them out.
Yeah.
Maybe they could start making like Pall Mall Smooth, like Gain or Bounty or something.
Or everybody's, people are getting into the vaping for all the different like flavors and stuff. You get one of those dryers that has the steam action and just pour in some of those like unicorn tears or whatever the vape flavors are. It just blasts them right into your clothing.
A lot of those things smell so good too.
That's
honestly.
what I'm saying. That actually might work.
I mean, I know snowmobile season is coming up sooner rather than later. You get 2-stroke scented Gain. That would fly off the shelves, bro. Honestly.
100%.
You pre-soak your FXR jacket in that stuff.
Throw a little brap in your dryer.
Whew.
You're ready to go.
Yeah, dude.
It comes out all warm and you're just like, oh, yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, for the guy who has an FXR jacket but doesn't have a snowmobile.
For the posers.
Yeah.
Now, not only can you be seen, but you can be smelled.
Gain, now with brass.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
It's time for Brock and Dalby's Draft.
Sadly, yesterday, James Earl Jones passed away at the age of 93, and we were talking about, all the movies and credits that he has, Star Wars, The Lion King, etc., but we also were saying he's got one of the greatest names of all time, and there's a lot of celebrities out there that do the 3-name thing, like James Earl Jones, so we're doing a draft here this morning of the best 3-named celebrities of all time.
And let's just pull the Band-Aid off. I won. I get the first overall pick, and we're going to use it to take the man that inspired the draft because there's just no doubt that James Earl Jones is one of the most powerful names of all time. He was in the Star Wars. He was in Field of Dreams. He was the voice of CNN. And everybody likes to talk about it. He was in The Lion King as Mufasa and all the big head in the clouds speaking down on the people. My favorite line was when James Earl Jones was every dad.
His son was awake. before sunrise, he's your son.
I'm taking James Earl Jones. Easy first overall.
Understandable. My number one pick, I'm going to go with Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh.
The L, which actually stands for Leroy. A lot of people don't know that.
What? Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. Say what one more goddamn time.
I mean, the guy is just brilliant. He's so known for making mother effer more common than it ever was.
Man's got his own book. I don't think it was his book, but the whole "Go the F to Sleep."
Yeah.
That was so part and parcel with him that it feels like he wrote it.
Oh my God! Every time he says the F word, it's just got so much stank on it. Like,
I'm so glad that you took Samuel L. Jackson with your number one pick, because it opens the door for me with no controversy. I wasn't sure about the initial. I take Michael J. Fox as my number two overall. Of course, one of the most brilliant movies, Back to the Future.
Guess you guys aren't ready for that yet. But your kids are going to love it.
what does the J stand for? Do you know?
No, and you know what? I thought about looking it up, but I don't want to know. It's like the J in Homer J. Simpson. I think it's more fun if left up to the imagination.
Number two for my pick here, I'm going to go with Neil Patrick Harris.
Oh, good pick.
For not only How I Met Your Mother, but also Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, which brought back his career.
Oh, dude, Dr. Horrible sing-along. Like, he's just in so many good things throughout his career. He is such a funny dude.
He's had a lot of longevity, and he can go in different kind of angles with everything that he does there.
Wasn't he in the TV, like the Netflix version of that Lemony Snicket's too, the series of unfortunate events?
I think you're right on that.
He was Count Olaf, and he was amazing, which is hard to be a character started by Jim Carrey.
I also didn't know who Neil Patrick Harris was till I went to the theaters to go see Harold and Kumar. And so that's how I found out who NPH was.
Oh, yeah. Doogie Howser. We didn't mention it at all. He's also Doogie
I
Howser.
thought he was just some crazy guy who did mushrooms in the car. Turns out he's way more than that, and that's why I love him.
I'm going to finish my list, my top three, with a little bit of sex appeal. If you grew up in the 90s, if you were of a certain age in the 90s, there was one woman with a three-name name that you will possibly never forget. Tiffany Amber Thiessen, better known as Kelly Kapowski from Saved by the Bell.
You know what? I thought you were going to steal my pick for a second because I am also going with a 90s heartthrob, a poster that my sister had on her wall for a very long time.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
Is it Sarah Michelle Gellar?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm going JTT, baby. Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Oh, you went the other way. That's a really good home improvement, by the way.
Every girl in the 90s had a poster of Jonathan Taylor Thomas. That kid was a heartthrob, dude.
That was just it, man. Teen Beat or Teen Vogue, all those dumb magazines.
Yeah.
It was either Tiffany Amber Thiessen or Jonathan Taylor Thomas on all the covers. They were icons. And I couldn't tell you where either of them are anymore. But
I don't even want to Google him right
No.
now. I feel like my sister would be mad to see what he looks like
Don't
now.
look him up. Let him live on in the memory. Also, Jonathan Taylor Thomas from The Lion King.
Yeah, that became full circle there. Yeah. All right, what are your picks again?
I have James Earl Jones. I then have Michael J. Fox, and I have Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
I'm going Samuel L. Jackson, number one. I'm going Neil Patrick Harris, MPH, number two. And, of course, JTT, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, in at number three there.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The PWHL finally made the announcement on the 6 teams and their official team names, because if you didn't know, the Professional Women's Hockey League kind of just started a little quick last year, so they just went based off by the cities.
Right, it was just there was the Toronto team, the Boston team, the Montreal team.
And so they officially have logos. If you want to see that, text hockey to 762-555. I'll send you the link of all the logos or check the podcast links. But they've got the Toronto Scepters, the Minnesota Frost, the Boston Fleet, the New York Sirens, which I don't hate any of those ones, to be honest with you. Then they've got the Montreal Victoire, which victorious in French, I guess, which that's a tough name for a team, to be honest with you.
I mean, I get, like, you got to win. Otherwise, it's pretty easy to make fun of.
I honestly hope this team loses every single game.
Well, I think that's just your Montreal bias show.
But with a name like that, to call yourself that's like just naming yourself the champions.
Absolutely, which honestly, I would love to have seen that.
Yeah. I feel like there's more that they could have done there, but the worst one is the Ottawa Charge.
Both in name, and I don't know where it comes from, but both in name and logo. If you look at the logo, it looks like your 10-year-old kid is a Calgary Flames fan and tried to draw it.
I saw some people pointing out that it looks like a combination of the Calgary Flames logo and the Cleveland Cavaliers logo put together.
Oh, yeah.
And also the name Charge in itself, I found the meeting. They say it's because of the city's motto for Ottawa is advance. So nodding to this is the real quote from the Ottawa Charge, nodding to its constant state of dynamic growth and forward progress as Canada's capital city, because they were always charging forward.
Yeah, because if there's one word people use to describe Ottawa, it's dynamic.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
You might as well have just called them the Ottawa Liars, dude. I mean, if you wanted to go down that route, I mean, everyone was honking their horns there a few years ago. Call them the Ottawa Honkers, man.
The Ottawa Geese.
Yeah, that's it. The logo would just be a goose driving a semi-truck.
Yeah.
Honking its horn.
The mascot would be amazing. You could do up the Zamboni to look like an 18-wheeler.
Every time they score, it's just beep, 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 beep.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Turns out a lot of the smells that people do want to smell like are already colognes.
Right. We thought we were coming up with this like fantastical list of like, wouldn't it be funny? But there's a lot of this stuff that's already out there.
There's a cologne called Frites, which apparently is the smell of distilled Idaho potatoes and essential oils.
No way. Does it smell like potatoes? Smell like French fries? Does it smell like vodka? Because it says distilled.
Basically, the gist I'm getting is you're going to smell like you just worked the fryers at McDonald's. You spray this stuff on you.
Who's looking for that?
There's Eau de Mac Unboxing, which is supposed to be the blend of a Mac boxes being opened, so the plastic wrap, the paper, and all that stuff, and then it says it's got the hint of aluminum laptop on the inside.
So it's like Mac computer.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about like a box of mac and cheese.
No, like a laptop.
That fresh whiff of Kraft dinner when you.
That honestly sounds better than this. Who's ever opened their laptop and been like, oh yeah.
I just like to spritz it on so that I can smell like Chinese sweatshop.
There's one called Dzing, I think it is, and it's basically supposed to smell like a horse stable. They say may smell like damp fur and animalic on the skin.
Like, listen, I know there are horse people out there that have horses and ride horses and take care and love their horses.
Sure.
Are they really like, you know what I would love? If I could just take the smell of all these droppings with me when I go.
Is there a cow dung one then, too? It's just manure? Is that what it is?
Ode to pigsty?
Funeral home is another smell.
Why?
It says the founder of the cologne, Christopher Gable, wanted to create a flower show scent, but somehow the end result ended up smelling like his grandfather's funeral.
I guess it makes sense that it smells more like the floral displays and the wreaths and stuff like that. Because when you
they're saying the opposite. They're saying it doesn't smell like that. They're saying they were trying to go for a flower scent, but it ended up just smelling like funeral. Which I don't know what that smells like.
Embalming fluid? Sadness?
Yeah, tears? Were they able to bottle up tears? Is that what we're doing here?
We've been trying to do that since the time of witches.
There's one that smells like blood. That's just creepy. And then new baby smell.
What the hell's new baby smell?
I don't know. The description says a baby. One whiff of it and you start to think of all the good things in life.
Listen, I'm a father of two. I was in the delivery room for both my kids.
No smell?
I don't remember a particular smell other than hospital cleaning products. You know what I mean?
The crazy thing is it says it took the company 15 years to get the new baby smell right. What do babies... I mean, I've never gotten close enough to a new baby to give a good...
Right.
Which also you probably shouldn't do that unless it's your baby.
I have to assume that had the doctor handed me my daughter to hold for the first time and I had just gone... They probably call the authorities.
Officer, there he is, right there.
The Brock and Dobby Podcast.
Describe to us what a new baby smells like.
Well, to me, they just smell new, like the world hasn't got to them yet. They still have all that hope, all that joy still left. There's no depression. There's no lingering dark clouds. But on top of that, they also smell like a mixture of like baby powder and breast milk throw up.
Oh.
No, there is that.
Yeah.
That does actually make a lot of sense.
Yeah, the latter half doesn't sound that great.
It's a mixture of all those things,
When does the new baby smell officially wear off? Is it like that new car smell, like after you smoking it twice, it's gone?
Yeah, well, I don't know about the smoking part.
You really shouldn't smoke near a baby.
Sorry, I didn't mean that. That's not what I meant.
The 90s are over, Brock. The 90s are over.
I just mean like you get some miles on that baby, like does the smell go away?
Yeah, after about 25 kilometers or so, the new baby smell wears off, but especially if you're smoking.
I'd say about like the 9 to 12 month mark, about a year old, that's when it's over. They're stinky, they're sticky. That's it.
I think maybe you just had good kids, but I think about the 3-month mark where you can't get any sleep. That new baby smell wears off pretty quick.
Yeah, it definitely gets old quick. Yeah, don't get me wrong.
And then what? It just goes to like a toddler smell, where all of a sudden they just smell sticky all the time.
I feel like, do we just progressively smell worse as we get older?
Well, I mean, there was that deodorant Teen Spirit.
Yeah, right.
like what do teenagers smell like? Is the even bigger question.
Well, the thing is, they eventually just renamed it to Axe body spray.
I was gonna say, it's basically like a mix of like weed, Axe body spray, and acne cream. Is that
those old Clearasil pads?
Is that it? Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Like you go from new baby smell and you're fresh and you're new to the world and innocent and all that, and then you get into toddler mode where you're just dirty and gross all the time. Yeah. And then you get into like tween. That's probably the best one when you're like in like that tween phase when you're not really like a disgusting child anymore, but you also haven't gotten old enough to be sweaty and gross.
Yeah.
And then you hit the teen years, and that you don't want to bottle that scent.
Yeah, it's just raging hormones. That's all it is. Starbursts and Mountain Dew.
Eventually you get old enough to like shower on the regular and wear cologne, and that's what adults smell like.
Yeah, and then you turn 30, and then it just smells like depression
and icy hot on everything.
Yeah, that's it.
The Brock and Dobby Podcast.
The presidential debate is going down tonight between Kamala Harris and Donald J. Trump.
It's going to be a disaster, right? Like, that's the only way it can go.
It's estimated that over 80 million people are going to tune into the debate tonight.
I saw a thing yesterday sort of talking about what ABC was going to do for the debate today, because previous debates have there was even the Biden-Trump debate a couple months ago that was kind of hard to watch because it was so all over the place. Apparently, they are only going to turn on the microphones when that specific candidate has been asked and is answering a question.
You know what's interesting is there is actually betting odds for the debate, and one of them was, will they have hot mics or not?
Oh, well, I mean, hey, again, this is not official information, but from what I've heard, to stop anybody, but specifically
Sure.
from interrupting, it's not going to be live mics permanently.
I think it is funny. There's a whole list of things that you can gamble on.
Dude, don't
for the debate.
Why do you always try and poke the bear inside me?
Well, it's like everything else in life. You can gamble on. There's commercials every 30 seconds, even on the radio, on TV now. Like,
so this is the new Super Bowl.
You can gamble on what colors they're gonna wear, like Trump's tie and stuff. Is he gonna go red? Right?
Gotta be red.
There's the odds for will they shake hands.
Ooh.
No is at a -400. Yes is at +250 right now.
I think I go no.
You can gamble on the length of the answer of their first question.
Like an over-under?
Yeah.
Like betting on the anthem?
Yeah, exactly. Even what is the first state that they will mention when talking about things. For Kamala Harris, like, will she bring up, there's like certain words and phrases. Will she bring up January 6th?
Right.
Will she use words like weird, crazy, racist, lunatic? For Trump, fake news is a big one that you can gamble on.
I feel like he doesn't say it as much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like once it became a soundbite, he moved on.
You can bet on, will he say worst vice president ever? I get bigger crowds than you. Also, I didn't know he said this before. Has he referred to her as a childless cat lady?
No, that is J.D. Vance, the nominee for vice president.
Yeah.
Referred to childless cat ladies as basically being women who don't have kids, who are predominantly liberal.
Cat lady is something that you can gamble on tonight as well.
That's incredible.
There's like a full spread of just phrases and things throughout this entire debate.
Honestly, it makes sense. If democracy is going down in flames, let's gather around the oil barrel and cheer it on. You know what I mean? Like, what are we waiting for here?
I've said it before. American politics is so much more in your face than Canadian politics.
Yeah.
Like, even the debates itself. Like, 80 million people are supposed to watch tonight.
Right.
Most people don't even realize when there's a Canadian debate going on.
No, I mean, yeah, when the next election comes here in Canada and it's like Justin versus Pierre.
Yeah.
80 million people are not, 8 million people might not tune in for that.
Although
debate.
I do think we should open up the gambling lines our next federal election. Imagine the over-under on the ums and ahs.
I imagine being the poor intern that's got to count them.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Ed's word of the day.
Let's see what he's got.
Good morning. Now today's word is frenetic. Yep, frenetic. 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 And it's marked by fast, energetic, or anxiety driven activity. Yeah. No, the old energetic thing, that's not me anymore. I don't suffer from that. Anyways, that's about it. Have a great one. Cheers her up.
You definitely get less frenetic as you get older. I will say that.
Yeah.
My kids are much more frenetic than I am.
If you don't feel frenetic in the bedroom, you should talk to your doctor and ask if Viagra is right for you.
I almost think that you don't want to be frenetic in the bedroom because that's a little frenetic is about going too fast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You want to slow down a little bit.
Yeah, okay. I get you. You're the frenetic and the furious. Is what you are.
Exactly. When you're Tokyo drifting, you're frenetic and furious.
Honestly, Frenetic and Furious could be a movie about kids today.
100%. That's the thing. Like, if you have kids, you just watch them, especially if there's a group 4 or bigger where they're all playing together.
Just riddled with anxiety and angry.
It gets very frenetic as they're running around and they don't really have a direction they're going in and they're just crazy.
If you go to Circle K, they've got 2 for $5 Monster Frenetics on sale right now.
You drink 2 monsters, you'll be real frenetic.
Frenetic drinks is what they should be called.
You'll be frenetic right up until you pass out.
Frenetic. Use it wherever you can, all right?
For more Brock and Dalby, tune in weekday mornings 5:30 to 9.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast is brought to you by badshop.ca, the Brock and Dalby merch store. With all proceeds going to the Canadian Cancer Society.